My name is Elena Ghost Martinez, and for 3 years at Forward Operating Base Phoenix, I've been living the most elaborate lie of my life. Every morning at 0700 hours, I unlock the base salon, arrange my scissors with the same precision I once used to arrange sniper rifles, and prepare for another day of pretending to be someone I'm not. Captain Elena Ghost Martinez, Special Activities Division CIA, 67 impossible missions completed over 8 years. But Mission 68 broke something inside me that 3 years of cutting hair couldn't repair. I still wake up hearing Marcus Santos die over the radio. My partner of 4 years, my best friend. The man I'd planned to marry when we both retired. The mission in Syria was supposed to be routine, eliminate a terrorist target. Clean in, clean out. But intelligence was compromised. Instead of 12 guards, there were 40. Command ordered immediate withdrawal, but Marcus was pinned down, bleeding out, calling for help. I had 2 choices: follow orders and abandon him, or disobey and attempt rescue. I chose orders. I followed protocol and listened to the man I loved die alone because I was a good soldier who obeyed instructions. What I didn't know was that Marcus's death wasn't bad luck. Someone wanted him dead, and someone wanted me to carry that guilt forever. This morning started like any other until I found an envelope under my door. Inside was a photograph of Marcus taken days before he died with a message. The truth about Syria, she's watching. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed with an encrypted message. Ghost protocol activated. The hunt begins tonight. Ghost protocol, code phrase from my CIA days reserved for extreme situations. But I'd never heard of anyone with designation S. At 0800 hours, Lieutenant James Hawk Rodriguez arrived for his usual trim. After 3 years, I knew Rodriguez's son Carlos was the center of his universe, and today, he looked troubled. Just a trim, Elena. Video call with Maria and Carlos tonight. As I worked, I noticed tension in his shoulders. Something on your mind? We got mission briefing yesterday. Reconnaissance operations supposed to be routine, but the intel package feels off too clean, too convenient. My hands never paused, but my mind filed away his concern. In intelligence work, Rodriguez's instincts would be invaluable. 20 minutes later, the rest of Alpha Squad arrived: Chief Petty Officer Marcus Tank Williams, Petty Officer First Class Antonio Ace Silva, and Petty Officer Second Class David Doc Chang. Williams burst through the door with characteristic energy. Elena, make me look less like a caveman before we head out. Where are you headed? I asked, noting their collective unease. Observe and report, no direct action expected, Silva said. But the mission parameters are almost too routine. Chang, their medic and most intuitive member, spoke quietly. Elena, have you ever heard of Ghost Protocol? I saw it referenced in classified material for our mission. My scissors nearly slipped. Why do you ask? Something about contingency procedures for high-value asset recovery. Seemed significant. Ghost protocol associated with their mission made my stomach clench. It was a kill code authorization for extreme measures when conventional operations failed. They left at 1900 hours, walking towards certain danger with the confidence of professionals who trusted their training. At 0200 hours, I heard footsteps outside my quarters. Through my window, I caught sight of a figure in dark clothing disappearing around the communications building. I followed and found a sophisticated signal interceptor attached to the communications relay, engraved with a stylized S. Someone was monitoring base communications, and they wanted me to know about it. At 37 hours, base alarm screamed across FOB Phoenix. I grabbed coffee service and approached the command center as helpful Elena. The guard waved me through, grateful for caffeine during crisis. SEAL Team 9. Alpha Squad is down, came the radio report. Heavy ambush 40 clicks northeast. Surrounded, no escape routes. My blood turned to ice. Rodriguez. Williams. Silva. Chang. Enemy strength, Colonel Peterson demanded. 50-plus fighters professionally positioned. SEALs are captured being used as human shields. 50 against 4. Execution numbers. Extraction impossible, sir. Communications intercepts indicate execution scheduled for sunrise less than 4 hours. As I refilled coffee cups, I noticed intelligence reports marked with the familiar S symbol. Someone had been feeding Alpha Squad's mission details to their captors. This wasn't random ambush, it was orchestrated trap. I returned to my quarters and retrieved equipment I'd sworn never to touch: custom rifle, tactical gear, communications equipment, and CIA credentials proving I was Captain Elena Martinez, Special Activities Division. I also activated a secure satellite phone and sent an encrypted message. Ghost requesting immediate intelligence on Operation Nightfall. Alpha Squad compromised. Martinez. Response came within minutes. Ghost protocol confirmed active. Asset recovery authorized. Deputy Director Hawthorne. Hawthorne. I knew that name. Ambitious, ruthless, willing to sacrifice operatives for larger objectives. Marcus's final mission had been authorized by Hawthorne. Another message arrived. Asset recovery window closing. Proceed immediately or Alpha Squad terminated to prevent intelligence compromise. Asset recovery, not rescue recovery. In CIA terminology, retrieving something valuable that Alpha Squad possessed or accessed. I realized with growing horror, Alpha Squad hadn't been sent on surveillance. They'd been sent to be captured. Someone needed them in enemy hands, and someone needed me to come after them. I was the real target. Alpha Squad was bait. I packed tactical gear into maintenance duffel, wore coveralls over my vest, and requisitioned utility vehicle for perimeter inspections. The gate guard waved me through, just Elena doing maintenance work. 40 kilometers of mountain terrain stretched ahead. I abandoned the vehicle and began running brutal endurance pace that pushed my 3 years out of condition body to absolute limits. 90 minutes to cover distance that normally took 8 hours. At 30 kilometers, I slowed to tactical movement. Through night vision scope, I could see the valley where Alpha Squad was held. Professional defensive perimeter with overlapping fields of fire, but designed to repel conventional assault, not counter single operator infiltration. I counted 52 fighters in 3 defensive rings. Through my rifle scope, I could see Rodriguez, Williams, Silva, and Chang kneeling in the center, bound, but alive. But studying the enemy positions more carefully, I recognized one figure: Dmitry Spektor Volkov. Former Spetsnaz, then private military contractor, finally freelance assassin specializing in eliminating intelligence assets. If Spektor was running this operation, it confirmed my worst suspicions. This wasn't about Alpha Squad. This was about something much larger. My secure phone buzzed. Ghost, you're exactly where we expected you to be. Time to finish what we started in Syria. S. Spektor. This had been planned from the beginning. Alpha Squad's capture, my response, even my current position. All orchestrated to bring me within range of someone who'd been hunting me for 3 years. The Syria mission hadn't been about eliminating a terrorist. It had been about eliminating Marcus Santos, who'd discovered something threatening to powerful people. And I'd been the unwitting instrument of his death. I'd identified 23 priority targets for elimination before the enemy could organize response. In my prime, challenging, but manageable. After 3 years inactive with an enemy commander who knew my capabilities, it was borderline impossible. But impossible had always been my specialty. Enemy Commander Spektor raised his hand toward Alpha Squad's position. Dawn was 2 hours away, but he was starting final phase early. I fired. Suppressed rifle coughed softly, and machine gunner on eastern perimeter dropped instantly. Before his body hit ground, I'd acquired second target radio operator, trying to coordinate defenses. But instead of expected chaos, enemy response was immediate and professional. Fighters dove for predetermined cover, while others protected hostages. They'd been briefed for exactly this scenario. Spektor's voice carried across valley through loudspeaker. Ghost, impressive shooting, but we know how this ends. Surrender now, and I'll make their deaths quick. I continued eliminating priority targets, radio operators, heavy weapons, specialists, senior sergeants. But enemy adapted faster than anticipated. After 7th elimination, smoke grenades deployed across valley, obscuring sightlines and forcing relocation. Automatic weapons fire tracked my movement with uncomfortable accuracy. Professional counter-sniper techniques meant Spektor had studied my methods for years. I reached backup position as mortar rounds impacted around my previous location. They'd triangulated position impossibly fast. Through new scope position, I could see Chang appeared injured blood on left shoulder. Others were alert but bound, waiting for opportunity that might never come. Long-range precision wasn't working against enemy who knew my capabilities. Time for direct approach. I packed rifle and moved toward valley floor. Moving through darkness with night vision, I could see gaps in defensive perimeter, vulnerable to single operator penetration from unexpected angles. First sentry never saw me coming. Combat knife to base of skull, quick and silent. Second guard was more alert, but alertness didn't help when death came from behind. But moving deeper into perimeter, I realized Spectre had prepared for this approach too. Tripwires, motion sensors, backup guards, positioned to respond to exactly my kind of penetration. I triggered sensor and valley exploded with searchlights and automatic fire. My position exposed multiple fighters converging Alpha Squad directly in crossfire. I grabbed fallen sentry's radio and broadcast false orders in accented English, creating confusion while moving toward ammunition storage. 3 grenades properly placed could eliminate heavy weapons and create escape chaos. But reaching ammunition dump required crossing 50 meters of open ground under observation. I sprinted. Automatic weapons tracked my movement, but 3 years of Colorado mountain runs maintained enough conditioning to reach cover. Ammunition storage was lightly guarded. I eliminated 2 fighters and began placing explosive charges. Very impressive ghost, but also very predictable. I turned to find Spectre rifle aimed at my center mass from 15 meters. Professional distance close enough for accuracy, far enough to prevent disarmament. Dmitry Volkov. I said, calculating angles. Still taking contracts. This one is personal. Your Marcus Santos discovered something he shouldn't have. Deputy Director Hawthorne has been selling classified intelligence for years. Marcus was going to expose him, so Hawthorne arranged his death in Syria. The pieces fell into place with sickening clarity. And my role? You were supposed to die with him eliminating both witnesses. But you followed orders and extracted, leaving Hawthorne with loose end. He's been looking for opportunity to eliminate you since. So you manufactured this situation. Exactly. Alpha Squad is expendable bait to draw you out. Spectre's finger tightened on trigger. I dove sideways as he fired, triggering explosive charges I'd placed around ammunition storage. Valley erupted in flame as thousands of rounds cooked off in chain reactions. In chaos that followed, I reached Alpha Squad's position and cut their restraints. Can everyone move? I asked. Doc's hit bad. Rodriguez reported, supporting Chang's weight. Need medical attention soon. Who are you? Williams asked, grabbing weapons from fallen guards. Someone who doesn't like watching good people die. I replied, scanning for threats. Discuss my resume later. As we moved toward western exit, Spectre's voice echoed. This doesn't end until one of us is dead. Ghost. We reached perimeter edge as ammunition fires spread to fuel dumps. Entire valley becoming inferno, providing concealment, but attracting attention. Automatic weapons fire tracked our movement from multiple directions. Spectre had positioned backup teams to prevent escape. Chang's condition deteriorating, carrying him slowed movement to point where we'd never reach safety. Leave me, Chang said weakly. Nobody gets left behind. Rodriguez interrupted firmly. I activated secure satellite phone and sent emergency signal to coordinates I'd memorized backup extraction protocols that might still be monitored. Response came within seconds. Ghost, this is Reaper Base. Extraction inbound ETA 12 minutes. Mark LZ with infrared strobes. Reaper Base. Marcus's old call sign now used by someone else who'd been watching this situation develop. 12 minutes of holding defensive position against Spectre's forces. I deployed infrared strobes and positioned Alpha Squad in defensive circle with Chang in center. Elena. Rodriguez said, whoever you really are, we're grateful. Save gratitude. We're not dead yet. Williams laughed grimly. What kind of hairdressing school teaches advanced military tactics? The best kind. Enemy engaged from 3 directions, coordinated elimination operation by trained soldiers. But Alpha Squad wasn't helpless. Rodriguez and Williams had acquired weapons, Silva coordinated defenses, even wounded Chang provided tactical advice. For every threat we eliminated, 2 more appeared. Spectre was wearing down our ammunition while avoiding decisive commitment. Chang's voice getting weaker from blood loss. I administered morphine from his medical kit, noting shoulder wound was worse than apparent bullet fragmentation, causing internal bleeding requiring surgery. Sound of approaching helicopters changed everything. 2 aircraft gunships with escort capability. Spectre's forces began withdrawing as helicopters settled into marked landing zone. Within 30 seconds, we were airborne, climbing away from valley. "Ghost," came voice through headset. "This is Deputy Director Sarah Reaper. I inherited Marcus's call sign. We need to talk." The classified facility outside Kabul looked like every CIA black site I'd operated from anonymous concrete sophisticated security institutional paranoia. Cheng was transferred to medical facility, while Rodriguez, Williams, and Silva went to debriefing rooms. I was taken to executive conference space with electronic countermeasures. Deputy Director Sarah Reaper Chen was younger than expected, maybe 40, with controlled intensity of someone who'd earned position through competence. "Captain Martinez, I've been following your career since Syria." "You've been following me for 3 years?" "Following, protecting, preparing." Marcus Santos was my predecessor. When he died, I inherited his files and investigation into Hawthorne's criminal activities. She activated Secure Tablet, displaying documents from Marcus's personal files, intelligence reports, financial records, communication intercepts. Marcus discovered Hawthorne has been selling classified intelligence since 2018. Not just information, but operational details, agent identities, mission parameters. Hundreds of operations compromised, dozens of agents killed. I studied documents recognizing patterns Marcus had identified before his final mission. Marcus had enough evidence to destroy Hawthorne completely. Financial records showing payments from foreign services, communication logs proving coordination with hostile governments, operational evidence of deliberate sabotage. So Hawthorne arranged Marcus's death in Syria. Exactly. Mission designed to eliminate Marcus while appearing operational casualties. You were supposed to die too, removing both witnesses. But I followed orders and extracted, which left Hawthorne with problem. You might eventually piece together what Marcus found. He's been seeking opportunity to eliminate you since. Alpha Squad's mission was bait. Yes, Hawthorne fed intelligence to Spectre, who arranged ambush to draw you out. Plan was eliminating you during failed rescue attempt. But you knew. Sarah smiled grimly. I've been building network for 3 years following Marcus's methods. When Ghost Protocol activated for Alpha Squad's mission, I knew Hawthorne was making his move. Why didn't you warn me? Because I needed you to walk into trap. Not to get killed, but to generate evidence. Last night's operation was recorded satellite imagery, drone feeds, communication intercepts. We now have proof Hawthorne deliberately arranged Alpha Squad's capture and your elimination. She showed satellite footage of Valley engagement. We have Spectre's forces coordination with Hawthorne, entire conspiracy documented. Next move, eliminate Hawthorne's network completely. Not just him, but every asset, every foreign contact, every compromised operation. Clean slate. What would mission involve? Hunting ghosts, Elena. Hawthorne built network using intelligence assets who think they're untouchable. Time to prove them wrong. She displayed photographs of multiple individuals Hawthorne's network across 6 countries. Timeline 6 months to eliminate entire network. After that, Hawthorne arrested using evidence we develop. Rodriguez entered, looking rested, but carrying command weight. Captain Martinez's team wants to know if we're really going after people who set us up. How's Chang? Surgery went well. Full recovery expected, but 6 weeks out of action. And others? Ready to work. We agree if people in our government think operators are expendable, those people need stopping. Sarah stood. Lieutenant, your team's been reassigned to classified operation with Captain Martinez commanding. Prepared for extended deployment. Rodriguez shook her hand firmly. Ma'am, we've been ready since last night. Someone tried to kill us to cover crimes. This is personal. 6 months later, I stood in my Colorado mountain town with Alpha Squad Deputy Director Chen and small ceremony officially closing one chapter while opening another. Hawthorne's network had been systematically eliminated. Spectre himself required 3-week operation in Eastern Europe, but even ghosts could be caught by other ghosts who knew their methods. Hawthorne awaited trial facing charges ensuring multiple lifetimes imprisonment. Foreign contacts eliminated or turned, financial networks seized, CIA influence completely eradicated. Sarah presented me with simple metal, nothing for official records, but recognition from people who understood the cost of shadow work. Rodriguez spoke for Alpha Squad. Elena, we know you're retired again, but if you ever need backup, we're one phone call away. 3 weeks later, Sarah Mitchell's salon reopened with modifications. Basic business remained: haircut, styling, personal service, making people feel valued. But twice weekly back room hosted personal safety classes covering substantially more than basic self-defense. Situational awareness, threat assessment, medical training, communication, security, practical skills, helping people protect themselves in dangerous world. Mrs. Henderson learned surveillance recognition. Tom, the mechanic, discovered tactical planning aptitude. Sarah, the teenager, developed confidence, serving her well in college. Every few months, Alpha Squad visited Colorado for advanced training sessions. Nothing raising questions, just friends helping friends learn practical skills. Most important addition was secure communication system, connecting me to Deputy Director Chen and intelligence professionals, sharing Marcus Santos's commitment to protecting good people. Late one evening, I found envelope under salon door. Inside was photograph of Marcus and me during final training before Syria, with message in his handwriting. Elena, if you're reading this, someone figured out what really happened. Thank you for not letting them win. Emmy. I never determined how photograph was delivered, but kept it as reminder that some battles are worth fighting, some people worth protecting, some ghosts worth laying to rest. My name is Elena Martinez. For 3 years, I was just a hairdresser. But when good people needed someone willing to pick up something deadlier than scissors, I remembered who I really was. Now, I'm exactly where I belong, living quietly, helping people in ways they'll never understand, staying ready for next time someone needs a ghost to settle old scores. Because the most dangerous person in any room is often the one everyone thinks is harmless. And sometimes the woman cutting your hair has eliminated more enemy agents than most soldiers ever see. But you'll never know unless someone needs saving. And by then, it's already too late for everyone except the people she's protecting.